Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Portable Gaming, and welcome back to Upton Farm. It's a little bit after 6 a.m. and we're going to get started straight away. So yesterday, if you remember, we've got fertilizer on a couple fields on our, down here in the southeast corner, our arable fields all have 2 coats of fert, 29 in the middle in this little public field. Have a single layer of fert. We can't put another one on there till the grass grows a little bit. We need to get a second layer on field 24 and then get the power harrow going right after that to plow that, to cultivate rather, that fertilizer into the soil. And we're going to get our subsoiler going on one of these 3 fields over here. They're all sort of closer walking distance, running distance from the farm. Since we're not teleporting, we're going to get that going right now. So the first thing is, you know, we had some bad luck with handbrake the end of our last session. Follow me and handbrake were not playing well together, at least in that JCB. The air reservoir for the air brakes was depleting too quickly and it was putting the parking brake on. And that's no good. So I went and made a couple courses in course play from the farm to the store, from the store to the farm. And that is basically the other side of the map. So what we'll be able to do is, for instance, the Ford here, we're going to send him to the other side of the map. Now, you also remember we sold our 40 series that we were using as a front loader. So we don't have a front loader right now. We don't have a way to put fertilizer in the broadcast spreader over at the store. Fortunately, we've got a hopper of fertilizer right here. And we're going to put some here. We're not going to fill it because if we do, I have a feeling it would pull the front wheels off the ground. And that is no way to run a railroad. So we'll go with about, take it up to about 2,000 liters. And I'm going to get this guy out to the highway and send him on his way to the store. Then we're going to get the T7 going on the subsoiler. And once that's going, we're going to run back up the hill to the farm, get in the T8 with the power harrow, drive across the map to field 24, run down to get the Ford, bring it back, fert the field, get the power harrow going, and then we're going to take the Ford further southeast on the map, and I've got some plans, got some things that I want to try. So it has been a morning here. And I woke up at 5 again, and I immediately jumped on these videos. I forget where I put my first point, so I'm going to back up a little bit so we don't turn all sideways. Course play. That. Look at that. Farm north. This is the north exit, north entrance, farm north to store, right there. Okay, there's our first point right there. Turn that off. Slow it down a little bit. We're not in a hurry. And even though we're not going in fields, I'll go ahead and bump this down as well too. Okay. First waypoint. There he goes. All right. So it's been a morning here. I woke up at 5 and, you know, I got it in my head I was going to put in a shader pack, Sweet FX or Reshade or something, and I did. I went ahead and did that. So I fired up the game. It looked good. It looked different. It looked good. It had kind of a Fallout look to it. It was that almost exaggerated video game look. And I liked it. It had a lot of where is it? There it is. It had a lot of haloing and just some different kinds of effects. And I liked it. However, the struggle is real because after all of that, when I went into OBS to take a look at the video, horrible flickering. We're filling AdBlue right now. If you're wondering, I mentioned this in one of the earlier videos. This is AdBlue, and it's a diesel additive used in Europe and the UK. Cuts down on pollution and adds a little bit of realism for me in the game. Turn the lights off so we don't drain the battery. So, went and looked at the video in OBS and it was not usable. Not even usable. So, did some research that I recorded. It took me about half an hour to get the shaders in, so I started recording about 5:30 a.m. At 6:30 a.m., when I took a look at the video, I realized not usable at all. So I pulled out the shaders that I had installed, and I installed a different reshade pack. Not reshade, that's I guess a trade name almost, but a different reshade pack. And I have to say I didn't have much better luck with that long term, but I didn't know that at the time. So I did some research, and we're getting into now OpenGL and DirectX and OBS and capturing from the card and capturing from the render and where things are being sent, and a lot of complexity. I don't mind when things are complex, and I love solving problems, but I don't like to make problems for myself. And I'm going to be doing video capture on a lot of games, probably 6 or 8 different games, and I can't really get into, I don't want to call it drama, that's too strong a word for it, but I don't want to get into a situation where I have multiple settings for OBS, for this game, and I mean radically different settings, like getting into config files and telling it where to look for the render and various other things. I can't be getting into all that. So, where's our road? There it is. Is it dark for 6:30? I think it's pretty dark here. So, when I went and looked at that video after an hour of recording, frame rate was terrible. Frame rate in-game was fine. We were hitting between 30 and 60 like always. Like right now, looking horizontally, I'm at 60 FPS. And from above, also at 60 FPS. So we may be capped. But either way, 60 FPS. Yay us. And the video was, obviously there was a problem in the capture because it was just terrible. Not even usable. I deleted it straight away. So that's 2 hours of video that I've deleted this morning. And there was an additional problem, and that problem was those shader packs were giving me this weird, and I don't know if you've seen this. If you have, please tell me in the comments. It was giving me this weird dust effect where it seemed almost like there was a dust cloud of shadow, or the shadow of a dust cloud coming off the opposite side of the tractor from where the proper shadow was. So using this as an example, let's say the sun was on the left side of the tractor, it would be casting a shadow on the right. Well, to the left side then, toward the source of light, a shadow was happening. It looked like smoke. It looked like the shadow of smoke on the ground. I could not find any cause for it, and I couldn't find any thread that addressed it. So now, once again, I've got a problem that I can't really solve, and I'm wondering, because I would need to go in and force, I believe I'm on DirectX. I've got Farm Simulator rendering on DirectX right now. I believe I would have had to force it to OpenGL, and then I would have had to force OBS to OpenGL, or at the very least given OBS the option of going to OpenGL, which I believe it does not do by default. And then I've got to coordinate frame rates and everything else. And as I'm thinking about this, and I ain't no quitter, but I do have to recognize that I have limited time to do this, and I can't be getting into problems that are that robust. I can't spend 3 or 4 hours of prep time and coordination for every hour of video that I record. So pulled the shaders out, all of them, and we are back to normal now, and we are at 60 FPS. Now the only concern I have is it is going on 7 a.m. and it is still, I mean, the skybox is black. Maybe we're getting some sunrise over there. I hope we are, because if we're not, now I'm turned around. If we're not, then I may need to uninstall and reinstall the game if the sun doesn't come up. Gotta have the sun come up. It is early spring though, so maybe we're just not there yet. So it's been a trying morning, and then we've got other problems going on. One problem is I'm starting to lose my voice, and I think I'll come back to that later. I did not anticipate the amount of talking that I would need to do to get an hour of video. That's not a bad thing. And when I'm going to talk about hard work and the new respect that I have for people that make these videos and put them out. There are a lot of good sim videos, farm sim and truck sim, racing sim. There are a lot of good videos out on the internet. Yeah, it's looking like maybe the sun's coming up now. We'll give it some time. I hope I didn't break my game. Let us buy a repair shop. We will need it soon enough. Okay. So this, and I've placed this here before. If it looks like I know exactly where I'm going, I've put this here before and it works really well right here. But it does need to be out from the hedge a little bit, or the hedge will clip through the wall. And I cannot stand a hedge going through a wall. That just works my nerve. Okay, and this needs to go right down here in the corner. Could have done this off camera. But, you know, it says in the description, and I'm going to stick with this. No edits, no jump cuts, and no... Oh yeah, there's the sun coming up. Okay. No edits, no jump cuts, no time lapses. Everything that I do, you can see what I do. You can see the fails, you can see the struggles. I did delete that video from this morning because that wasn't struggle, that was just bad video. The first one was flickering so badly that it was making me nauseous. And the second one was, in the video, I swear we were getting about 6 FPS. And I mean, right now, you can take a peek. We're 60. And that's what well, it wasn't quite that good. It was in the 30s when we were rendering the second video with the second, I missed it. Not paying attention. No, it's not even. Come on, trigger box, there it is. No, that's the other one. That's diesel, we need this one, yes. It wasn't rendering at 60 in game, it was hitting from 30 to 60. But then when I took a look at that video, again, it was unwatchable. I don't have any problem with you seeing me fail. That's half the fun of this, is I've learned so many ways to solve problems by watching videos about these sims. So I don't care if you see me fail. I don't care if you see me solving problems. You know, we can solve problems together and figure things out. I'd like to do live streams at some point, and I'm happy to hear your feedback. You know, send it back to me and let me know what I can do in a live stream. I'll fix it. I'll fix it in real time. Having said that, I don't necessarily want you to have to deal with video that is unwatchable. I wouldn't do that to you. So me failing is fine. Me wasting your time is not cool. I wouldn't do that. Something else that I noticed with the shader pack, and this really makes me think about OpenGL and DirectX. When I loaded the first shader pack, which did not work, my controls became so incredibly sensitive that the game was not playable. I had to go in and back my sensitivity down You're so sensitive. Yeah, it was incredibly sensitive. Almost, well, not usable enough that I had to go make the adjustment. And I saw something unusual. There is a controller sensitivity setting, and I'm using a Logitech F710. And it was at 100, and I thought, oh, I'm going to back that down to like 50, or 10. And it didn't go to 50 or 10. It went up. I could set it between 100 and 200, and I thought, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Or shouldn't 0 be the baseline? Why would it start at 100? That doesn't help me. So, I wanted to turn it down. It turns out it already was down, and it was way too sensitive. So making those adjustments earlier, I played with my dead zones a little bit too. And you may see from time to time the camera will be creeping a little bit because I have minimal dead zone now on my controls. And what that means is on my right thumbstick, if it doesn't come all the way to center with the dead zone being as small as it is right now, if it doesn't come absolutely all the way to center, it will creep the camera a little bit and give it that kind of slow pan effect. Right. Yeah, the struggle is definitely real here today, and I say that half serious and half joking. I say it seriously because, and I said this when I was driving up the hill a minute ago, I am really very acutely aware right now of how hard the people that make good videos have to work to do them. There are a lot of amazing videos online, on YouTube, sim videos, other stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about simulation, trucking, racing, farming, those sorts of things. There are amazing videos online. There's also a lot of, I don't want to be cynical and call them all lazy videos, because I think some of them are people that are just getting started, doing their best, working with equipment that might not be the best, that sort of thing. I'm going to lose my voice before we're done here. Oh, but check it out. I have to stop the tractor to do this. I got a dump button. I'll tell you about it. I'm going to clear my throat first, and then I'll come back and tell you about my dump button. So I am on a Logitech Artemis G933 wireless headset. It is amazing, unbelievable surround sound. Microphone I know is a little bit dead right now. I'm looking into, I think I might get the blue ice black ball. We'll see. But it's an amazing headset, and it's got buttons all over it, like all Logitech stuff does. It's just covered in buttons. And there was no dump button. There was no mute button. And I have the Logitech gaming software as well. Hey Logitech, you listening? Because I use all them Logitech products, and I wear a large t-shirt, just saying. I figured out if you go into the software, the Logitech gaming software, where you program all your equipment and do all your firmware updates and that sort of thing, sure enough, you can reprogram the button. It comes with, the feature that it comes with is enable, disable the equalizer. And when you reassign it, the first option you get is making a mute button. So I did. So I have a dump button now, and that was something I sneezed. I made a cattle and crops video yesterday, and I sneezed right in the middle of the video. And the only, the best solution that I could come up with was to just reach my hand up and grab the microphone, which is marginally better than sneezing. And then it got even better than that. Extra fail. I reached up and grabbed the microphone. It sounded like I was crumpling up newspaper. That's how the professionals do it. You always want a bunch of noise in your videos. I grabbed the microphone. Then I lose my sneeze, so I grabbed it for nothing. And then a second later, I sneeze anyway. It snuck up on me. Sniper attack. So just total fail all around. And I didn't have a dump button. So I went ahead and did that this morning. Backing up. And then, oh, that's a That's ironic. Now I actually have to back up because I missed my turn. Did I? Yes, I did. I should have for field 24. So backing up to what I was saying a minute ago before I was talking about the dump button. There are a lot of amazing simulation videos online on YouTube. There are a lot of videos that aren't so good. Some of those seem very sincere, and they seem like people that are just getting started, just learning. I'm just getting started. I'm just learning. It's kind of hard to do. It really is. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not, we're not trying to do brain surgery or anything. It's not that hard, but doing it right, I'm finding, is harder than I would have thought. So I'm learning, and I can see some of those videos. They aren't good, but you can tell the people are very sincere, and they are learning. And then there are other videos that I see, and I think I've said this before. It looks like somebody just plugged their PS4 into an Elgato, and they're just gaming. They're just kind of goofing off. And I would ask myself, when I see that, I would ask myself, who would watch that? I give it 30 seconds or a minute and I turn it off. I don't want to watch that. And I guess what I'm saying is that person seems like they haven't asked themselves, who would watch this? And I think I said this way back in one of the first videos that I made, is that goes to that's the Seinfeld syndrome, right? Why is anybody going to watch this? Because it's on TV. And I think a lot of people really believe that. If you put something on YouTube, won't everybody watch it? Well, not if it's not good. There's a couple billion videos on YouTube. It's competitive. You got to make good content. So I don't have any problem with people that are learning. I guess I'm sort of irked by people that seem like they're not really trying. So I also, having said that, I also have a ton of respect now for people that are obviously putting a lot of time and effort into what they do. And I'm finding how much time and effort it takes to do this right. And I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I just know how much work I'm putting into it. So as an example, today, we're going on, by the time this video is done, we're going to be looking at 5 hours I've been working. And I say that, it's work, but I'm not digging for coal here. It's work, but it's not work. But it'll be 5 hours that I've put into this. And again, when I'm done with this video, it may or may not even be usable. Don't tell anybody this as I say it to the internet. But I've made videos where I did the narration, right? I'm talking. I get done and I look and I forgot to turn on OBS. So I've just been talking to myself for an hour while I'm playing a video game, like some kind of an insane person. What are you, some kind of a nut? Little things like that. Well, I guess that's not a little thing. That's just a big stupid thing. But you get what I'm saying. Having said that, I'm going to pause right here and go make sure I'm recording on OBS. Be right back. Yes, I am. Okay, so close my cover. And spread some fur. So I have a lot of respect for the people that do this, and I realize how hard they work, and you have to be kind of smart too, and creative, and a lot of things that, I guess I want to be those things, but I don't always think of myself as being those things. But problem solving and even just the consistency. I'm realizing, I guess I have 3. They're not characters, that's not quite the right word. But I think I'm realizing I have 3 different ways of presenting myself in these videos. And one is farming, one is trucking, and one is racing. And they're all me, they're just different sides of me. And I guess it's contingent on the activity. So racing is very intense with an incredible amount of focus. Trucking is pretty laid back. You can sort of zone out and clown a little bit. And then farming is somewhere between the two. But even being consistent And there've been some of these videos that I've restarted half a dozen times. You know, it's the weirdest thing. You hit the start button on OBS, and then you start to talk, and you just freeze up, and all you're doing is saying hello. And you know, for some reason, maybe overanalyzing it, overthinking it, I don't know. But regardless, I hit the start button, I click back into whatever sim that I'm recording, and then I just turn into a gibbering idiot. So we'll go ahead and pause that, delete, start over. So that's where I'm at. I want these to be, I'm a perfectionist, and I am an extremely competitive person. So I want these videos to be as good as anything out there. And ideally, they would be the best out there. And I've got a long way to go. I realize that, but that's the goal. I always want to be the best at everything I do. So, hopefully. Oh, you know what? OCD is hitting me hard right now. Okay. Had to go back to OBS again, because just for a second I thought, wait, what if I looked at the wrong OBS window? Did I leave the stove on? What's his name again? Okay. I wouldn't categorize myself as crazy, but I also would never say that I'm not crazy. Now, the nice thing is, since this is the third time, I'm not kidding, this is the third time I've done exactly the same thing. I have gone to my archive. I've gone straight to the vault. And pulled my save game from yesterday, my farm sim save game from yesterday, where I started this morning. 3 times, 4 times. It is, oh, dump button, I gotta sneeze. Be right back. You know, I was sneezing just now, and I was thinking, I really hope this dump button is working, because if it's not, what an idiot. 24, yeah, right there. So I'll find out when I listen to this, 45 minutes from now. And you know what? If it's all hinky, I have to say at that point I probably won't record it. I think I'll just edit that part out. Right. This is a power harrow. I'm using it as a cultivator, but it is technically a power harrow, and if there are any real farmers watching, I know they are sticklers about that kind of thing, so kudos to you. Right there, there, and there. Okay, we'll get this going. I'm going to take a tug on the vape here. Looks like he's going. Right. Back into the Ford. We've got 606,000 pounds. And it seems like a lot of money, but it can go in a heartbeat. We still have to buy combine harvester. And we've got grass going, so we've still got to get a tedder, a rake, a baler, a bale trailer, and a forage wagon. So we could spend that money, we could spend it literally in 5 minutes just buying those things. Now here's the problem with this game. I'll do them in reverse. Here's the problem with this game. It's not a problem. I don't want to say that. In FS15, silage was the way to get rich. Silage and trees. And what you did was you cut down a few trees just with a chainsaw. You didn't buy any logging equipment. You just got a chainsaw. And you cut down trees near the pond, and then you just used the tractor to shove them into the pond, and they were worth 40,000 pounds a piece. So you'd sell a few of those. And then you plant maize, you plant corn, and you either buy or rent a forage harvester with all the money you got selling those trees. And then you harvest corn, put it in the clamp it. The next day it's silage, literally the next day. Take it out, sell it for £1 million. Buy any piece of equipment that you want. There's no XP in this game. You can buy any piece of equipment from day one. There are no levels, so you don't need to wait to level up to buy equipment. You just need the money to buy it, and that, I'll call it a flaw in the game, would let you, within just a couple of game days, you could buy any piece of equipment that you wanted. They nerfed that in FS17, made silage a lot more realistic. Then when Seasons came out last summer for the mod contest, they had, I guess, a flaw in the economy with bales, and you could sell hay and straw bales for, I think, 1,000 pounds a piece, and a silage bale you could sell for a few thousand pounds. So a bale trailer full of bales of almost any type you could sell for between 50 and 100,000 pounds. And a big field on a place like the West Coast, or even a base game map, the Gold Crest Valley, you might get 30 or 40 bales out of a decent sized field. You might get 100 bales out of a field. So you're talking about 250,000 pounds in bales from one field, and that same field might have only 70 or 80,000 pounds of wheat that you're selling from it. So is it Realismus? The modders who developed Seasons mod. It says Realismus. Now I've said the word too many times and it's lost all meaning. They nerfed that in one of the updates for Seasons. And I don't mind. Good for them. It makes it realistic, and the whole point of Seasons is to make it realistic. So, we are going to get grass going. But I'm aware that I need to buy probably 150 to 200,000 pounds worth of equipment to get grass going. Now, the nice thing about grass is we can harvest it twice a year. I think maybe even 3 times a year. I think early summer, early fall, and then I think we can get a little baby crop in late fall. So we can harvest a lot of grass and we can get some decent money for it. But I don't know if we can get enough money to quickly recover the investment that we're going to make. I don't think we can get, before Seasons developers fix that glitch, maybe, before they nerf that bale error, you could make a couple 100,000 pounds with grass before you had ever harvested a cereal crop. That's gone now. So I don't know if we can, if we spend a bunch of money, if we spend 200,000 pounds, I think we'll have just enough left to get a combine harvester and bring in the crops that we're going to. Oh, and we still need to get a seed drill. That's going to be 150,000 pounds. So you see the dilemma that I have. I want to get this grass going now, but I don't want to spend all our money and not have enough to do things later. Now, on the plus side, we did pay our loan off when we sold all our base game equipment. So we have no loan right now, and I believe we can borrow either 300,000 or 500,000 pounds. Certainly enough to buy a cheap combine harvester. If not buy, then definitely rent. I mean, we can rent all kinds of things. we've got options there. Just one little bit right here. There we go. So, we are going to get this grass going. And I guess what I'm getting at is, if you know, I joke all the time, and I say it's only a game. Really, it's only a game. But the goal of the game is to farm, and you have to spend money to be able to farm. If you don't have any animals, you don't have any equipment, there are no fees taken out for anything. So at that point, I mean, I'll go ahead and say this, but you could start the game, sell everything, not buy any equipment, not buy any animals, and your money would always be there. It would be like putting it in a savings account. But that's not really farming, is it? You see what I'm getting at? If you save your money, if you don't spend any of it, you have it, but you can't do anything. And the whole point of this is to farm. And I want to farm as profitably as possible. So I want to make that money back as quickly as possible, but I know if I don't, then I'll just make it back next year. You know, we can carry a loan through the winter. I've done it before. I've never played the game so aggressively that I went bankrupt. I don't know what happens. I guess if you max out your loan and then you just buy equipment and don't make any money, I guess at some point your line of credit is used up. I don't know what happens. I've never taken the game to that level where, do they foreclose on you? I don't know what happens. But I've never been that broke. I've carried a loan through the winter, but I've never gotten so upside down that I'm losing money rather than making money. I've made money very slowly, and there have been profiles where I barely made any money at all, but I never got completely underwater. Fingers crossed. So, I was considering renting a small Lemken seed drill and planting grass while we're on this side of the map. I think I might do that because it lets us not buy the big Lemken seed drill. No, that doesn't make any sense. I was going to say it spares us the expense of buying the big Lemken seed drill, but the fields that we're prepping right now can all be planted, not just the grass fields. I was thinking, you know, these grass fields are ready, but we're still plowing and cultivating our arable fields. Well, field 31, for instance, the first field we started on, is ready to have canola drilled into it right now. So we could get that big Lemken seed drill and get that going straight away. And that the Lemken that I want to get, we can use for grass and canola and wheat and barley and soybeans also, I believe. So that's what I think we're going to do. I put one more layer of fert on field 24. Do I? No, I don't. I don't, because the Lemken seed drill also fertilizes. So I think, yes, I think, close this. I'm going to check something. I think that JCB, 230 horsepower, and the Lemken that we want is 30 right here. This is 100 horsepower, and then these are all 25 apiece. So if I go, is it this one? It's this one right here. These are 25 apiece, so we would be at 150. So the JCB can certainly accommodate that seed drill. And there's nothing going on field 24 after the power harrow is done with it. So we're going to take this guy back across the map right now and actually park him down near field 3 where the subsoiler is working, because we will put another load of FERT on that field after the subsoiler is done. We're going to hop in the JCB, drop the front weight, drive over here, buy a seed drill. Oh, son of a biscuit. No front loader, no telehandler, no way to load that seed drill. Okay, you see my dilemma. I would have to drive the JCB across the map, pick up the Lemkin, drive it back across the map to the farm to fill it, and then drive it back across. I am going to need a front loader at some point before we start working grass, because I'll have bales to pick up. So if I get a front loader now, and I'm thinking of a T5 or a T6. Now you know what I could do? I could sell this Ford. You know what? Sorry, buddy. Let's do that right now before we drive back across the map. And that way we stay at 4 tractors. I love this Ford. I love its sound. It's a good little tractor. But we're playing realistic. And in this life, you don't every time get what you want. So okay, glad I thought of that before I drove over there. Then what will we do? Then, okay, so then we will drive our new tractor, our T5 or our T6, we will drive that across the map to the farm. We will do that just to get to the JCB. I need to recalibrate my dead zones. I backed those dead zones way down because the sensitivity was so crazy with that shader pack installed, but now it's uninstalled. My sensitivity is normal again, and I have no dead zone. So we will, essentially we're going to drive over there just to get the JCB. We're going to drive over there so we don't run all the way across the map. Okay. All right. Okay. I love this Ford. You know what? If it gets crazy enough later, if we have enough going on later, I will get this Ford again. But for now, I think I need access to that little circle. Okay. Stay golden, pony boy. No, I don't want to repair it. I want to sell it. Oh, okay. That's kind of a neat detail. Can't sell it when it needs a repair. Fair enough. Now, get to go shopping. I love shopping. So we had, I should have checked this before I sold it. We had TW25, which is 156 horsepower. So we want a Tier 4B T5 or T6 with 150 horsepower. That's T6. And this is T6. These are Tier 4A. T6, here we go. Tier 4B, 125. This is the CVT, and this is the 17x6. We'll go CVT. go weights, front loader, 155, same as the Ford. Gearbox transmission, 138 grand. Okay. And we're going to get our front loader again. There. Gray decals. I wish I could get this in yellow. I guess that's just a stole. It doesn't need to be. There it is in yellow. Okay. And to go with it for now, we're using, we don't have any bales yet, so we'll make this safety orange. And we will also get a New Holland weight, and I believe this is the weight that comes with that great big New Holland pack that I have. I love that thing. It's the weights are so good. These are New Holland right here, 850. I think I'll go with, it's 1,000 pounds. I think I'll go with that. Okay. So here we are. Right. This poor fellow is going to be just burdened. And I can add discs. Nope. You get what you get. Okay. Not a problem. Sometimes the front weight will come right up against the front loader, sort of clip through it. Not this time. Perfect. So we are now going to, for reals, we're going to drive across the map just to pick up the JCB, and we're going to send it back here. I guess we'll drive the JCB and we'll send this New Holland back. Okay. And there we go. Wow, we're going to run out of money. We still need to get, we have a mower, we still need to get a teeter, a rake, a baler, a bale trailer, a forage wagon, and our seed drill. I may have said seed drill twice. I may not have, though. Okay. And the whole time we're doing this, I know you know this, but for those of you that aren't as familiar with the sim, the whole time we're doing this, our T7 and our T8 are working away on fields there. And just, let me show you something. I am playing with a gamepad, and I do have analog control. Right? No keyboard. But the sensitivity is, I'm really kind of struggling to get it sorted out today. So if you see me, if it looks like I'm tapping on a keyboard to steer, I'm not, but I may as well be. And I think what I may do, I'm going to, we were at 30 minutes earlier. I'll take a look when we get to the farm, depending on how long we've been rolling. Ooh. Just remembered something. there's a small public field down here that I tend to forget about, but you can get a little bit of grass out of there, and it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to buy the field. It's just right there. There it is. Try not to spray too much fertilizer on my pigs that I don't have. I don't do pigs, man. I've never had good luck with them. Never really made money with them. And I like bacon. I like sausage. I like ham. I like pork chops. I like to eat pretty much all parts of the pig, but I don't like pigs as a concept, like in real life. I'm not a fan of pigs. And people are like, oh, they're so smart, they're so clean. Yeah, you know. Just not a fan. So, for that reason, and also because I don't make any money with them, I don't do pigs, man. I don't do pigs. Right. So now all of our grass fields on this side, even the ones that we haven't planted yet, all of our grass fields have at least a single coat of fertilizer on them, a single layer of fert. Now, I'm curious because my frame rate seems to be significantly better than it was yesterday, and I'm wondering if that's because I had lights on. No, turn my lights on, no drop. I've got a really good frame rate. I'm curious if that has anything to do with messing around with those shaders, if something got reset, or if it forced, I believe I'm forced to DirectX, but if I did get forced to, wait a minute, if I did get forced to OpenGL, if that would improve or take away from my frame rate. I don't know. But I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this render right now. I'm happy with this frame rate. There we go. Take the brake off. I think what we may do is just get this new T6 over to the farm and get it parked, and then we'll call it for the day, because this is going on what, almost 5 hours of recording that I've done so far. And I don't, when I say that, I am well aware of the fact that there are people all over this world that work their asses off for like $1 a day. So I don't, when I talk about working hard or the work that I'm putting into this or something, I'm super mindful of how hard people work for money. And me sitting here with this amazing technology and a hot rod gaming laptop and all this Logitech gear and Google Fiber at 100 Mbps downpipe, I can look things up on the internet. I can download files, and I really wouldn't want to sit here and talk about, I'm working so hard. I'm putting effort into making this as good as I can make it, but I'm certainly not, I'm not mining for coal, and I'm well aware of that. So when I say, I've been recording for 5 hours, I would never want that to sound like self-pity. Self-pity that's not a place anybody, let me get up on my soapbox. Self-pity is not a place anybody ever wants to get to. You really lose perspective when you start feeling sorry for yourself, and nothing good happens there. So Definitely not complaining, just making the observation that my voice is really beginning to hurt. Hurts to talk. The vape probably isn't helping. You know what? Let's find out. Let's do a little test. No, it's not terrible. I'll be right back. I'm going to check OBS. Right. We are at 55 minutes, and I like to go at least an hour. So, 600. Let me... No, I don't. I was going to say I need to spray field 24 after the power harrow, but I don't. I only need to spray field 3. Now I will need to do... Is it 40? Yeah, I will need to do field 9 and field 40 after the subsoiler, but I don't need to do that now, and there's no reason for me to haul the extra weight around. So I'm actually going to put this, I'm going to drop this hopper. I won't be taking it to the other side of the map. I won't need anything over there, and if I have the 3-pointer, the drawbar on the back of this tractor empty, if I buy something over there, like a bale trailer or something, I can haul it back here. Okay. So, this guy goes out here. This New Holland pack, all three of the New Holland that we own right now are made by the same developer. They all come in the same pack. It's really big. I think it's 250 meg, but they're really beautifully made tractors. They're optimized. I mean, I've downloaded some mods that are amazing, but I don't know what kind of a supercomputer you would need to run them, because they just absolutely kill my frame rate. Farm north. This is north to the store. Okay. Turn that off. Keep the speed down. We're not in a field, but set this now anyway. Safety first. Right. Make sure he's away. He's away. So we'll go grab the JCB. We'll take the shortcut. We may even beat him to the store. And we'll buy that seed drill and the fertilizer tank that goes with it. I want to be certain I drop the weight off the front of the JCB before we take off. And all the fields that we're going to be working on, yeah, they're all flat. No hills right now because the JCB does have the Nokians on it. Now we can put big tires on it. We have the shop now, and that would cost us $1,000. But so many choices to make. You know what? I think I might do that. I put the Nokians on here because we got this to be our street tractor. We're going to be hauling a lot of tippers and delivering grain, taking grain to market, that sort of thing. Bales. I got this to be our street tractor, so I got Nokians, but we are going to be in fields with it. So let's go ahead and put some butts on it. Some nice chunky butts. Okay. You wait right here. Nokian. Oh, and also I have the wrong terminal. I wanted the universal terminal. Right there. Yes, bus. Right. Okay, that's better. There we go. So you know we're running more realistic and we're running Gearbox. This is not a more realistic tractor. I think I said this in an earlier video. I believe, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but I believe more realistic affects the physics for the entire game, even tractors that are not MR. But if it is an MR tractor, then it is particularly affected. So you'll notice it takes a long time to get going. There's no real jackrabbit starts. And braking, particularly when you have a full tipper, 45,000 liters, a big tipper, you hit the brakes and I wouldn't say nothing happens, but it stops like a tractor with 45,000 liters of grain behind it, plus the weight of the tipper, which is not nothing. Okay, this is the air brake mod. Now, I'm in the bad habit of pumping the brakes. And that is not how you drive a tractor or a big truck. If you do that, you will deplete your air and you'll get exactly that result. So it could be that the handbrake mod is just really accurate to real life and I don't drive a tractor properly. So I will try to get in the habit of tapping once and holding rather than pumping. Don't want to pump it. Okay. That's a good looking tractor. That. These mods, man, I tell you what, they are beautiful. And they make them and they just give them away. It's fantastic. There are a couple mods. Straw Harvest, I think, was 20 bucks. I don't know. I mean, I would, like this map, I think I said this before. Same thing for Pro Mods in Euro Truck. I would pay for that. You know, you can get Euro Truck on sale on Steam for $4.99. But people have paid full price for it, 20 bucks, whatever it is, 30 bucks. And you look at something like Pro Mods, and I think Pro Mods, in some ways, is better than the base map. So if you would pay $4.99 or 20 bucks for ETS2, what would you pay for Pro Mods? And this map, Upton Farm, would I pay $1 for this, or £1, or 10, or 20? It really, when you think about the number of hours, and realistically, come on, we're gamers. Hundreds of hours that we put into these games, sometimes hundreds of hours into a single map. When you break that down per hour for all the fun and challenge and satisfaction and frustration even that it gives you, 100 hours, let's say 100 hours at 10 cents an hour. It's 10 bucks. Is it worth $9.99? I think it definitely is. So a good mod, it's amazing that they just give them away. Right. This guy, he can go. And I'm going to pull this right over here, same way. And this one I will shut down. Brake on. Okay. So we'll buy our drill. And we do want the with fertilizer unit. I don't I screwed up. I don't need the fertilizer tank because don't need the fertilizer tank on the drill because we're going to buy the separate tank. We need 2 of those, and is it sprayers? This is for that. Those 2 go together there. Is it here? It's there. Right. Now this is a I'll put the tank on the front first, but now I'm having second thoughts about it's a Fast Track 3200. Should be able to support this thing. It just looks, because of that cab that's sort of cut off in the back, JCBs to me sometimes look a little lightweight. I know they're not, but they can look a little lightweight. All right. There we go. This isn't really working out, is it? Well, I told you, you get the fails too. Let me sell both of these because I don't know which one is which, and then we'll just buy 2 new ones. And with seasons, I believe you get 30 minutes to return a piece of equipment for what you paid for it. Right. Give it another try here. There we are. Okay. So that takes us out just over an hour. The T7 and the T8 are done. So I'm going to get this parked up. It's a little bit before noon. So send everybody home for lunch, and we will meet back here tomorrow. We'll get our seed drill going. We'll use our new front loader to put the seed and the fert in the seed drill, and we will reposition the T7 and the T8 so they can continue subsoiling and power harrowing. Folks, thank you so much for coming to see the Portable Gamer. We'll catch you again next time. Take care.